everyone, we are back in the little shop of hoarders and the PDX Picker channel. I am Chris. I have a bunch of orders that have sold for me on Poshmark and eBay. Things are finally turning around. I'm feeling quite positive about the month of March in general, even though I'm going to be gone for a week, which means my sales are going to go down. But we've got some great sales, and I've got a strategy I've talked about before, but you really have to get off of the fence and jump in and dive in 100% and do this if you aren't already. So stick around after the intro song, we'll pull a few orders, talk about that strategy, and get into the life of the PDX Picker.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, so a bunch of good sales. Finally, I think I have 10, maybe 11 things going out. Today is Sunday. I am going to leave, get on the plane to go to Phoenix in less than 2 hours. So I have got to hustle, because I need to pull these items. I need to package them up so that my wife can drop them off at the post office tomorrow. And thankfully I'm done packing. I'm pretty much all ready. I think I'm going to try and bring my laptop down and see if I can edit a few videos while I am either on the plane or down in Phoenix so that I hopefully have some stuff to release this week. Otherwise everything is going to be really delayed. Of course, it suddenly is windy outside, so the shop door is banging like crazy. I do apologize for that. We're going to do the best with what we have. It's still cold and gross here. I think it's in the 50s at least. Right when I leave on Monday or Tuesday, it's going to be in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. Terrible timing for me leaving because, like I've mentioned many times before, it's going to be in the mid to upper 90s when I'm down in Phoenix, which is gross. Not good as far as I'm concerned. Looks like we have 7 things going out on eBay today. We'll start with perhaps my best selling or highest priced item that I've sold so far from the storage unit auction. It's not necessarily saying a lot. I haven't listed a ton of high dollar items yet, although there just really aren't that many. But this did sell. This is an Xbox 360. This is a networking adapter. So it's basically how you hook up your Xbox 360 to the internet. This was probably the best thing that came out of all of the video game accessories and things that were in there. This sold for $24.99, free shipping, so basically about $20 on that. And it sold quite quickly. These have a huge, high, probably a 500% sell-through rate. They go very fast and for pretty good money. Big winner item of the day in terms of value. This took a while to sell, but that's okay. You know, it paid off in the long run. I just had to find where it is. Here it is. So I picked this up for $19.99 at my favorite thrift store. It's this bad boy right here. You can see it's new with tags. This is a very high-end, it's a waterproof rain jacket by a brand called Stormer, S-T-O-R-M-R. That's what this looks like. There's not a ton of these that are listed, not a ton that sell, but if you do happen to come across, definitely pick it up if it's a good price. So this sold for $149.96. It ended up in my 25% off sale. Took probably 8 to 9 months to sell, but these are very high quality. I basically think of like fishing boats, people on fishing boats or people that need to stay completely dry. This is the type of jacket you are going to get. It's neoprene. Yeah, anyway, that sold, like I said, $149.96 plus shipping. Picked it up for $20, so a very nice sale. Those are the type of sales that can really turn a month around. So stoked for that to come through. I'm going to get into the topic. I'm going to try and make this video short because I just, frankly, am short on time. But it's not something new. I have talked about it in the past, but it basically just comes down to I had 11 things sell for me over the past 2 days. 7 of them on eBay and 4 on Poshmark. And I just want to point out that if you are not cross-listing, especially if you sell clothes. If you don't sell clothes, I don't know if cross-listing to Poshmark is really the greatest thing in the world, but if you sell clothes and you haven't or aren't yet cross-listing to Poshmark, you really need to get off the pot and do it, because it's accounting for a huge percentage of my sales. It's over 10% of my sales now are on Poshmark. And what I use for cross listing, there are quite a few options out there. Personally, what I use and what works for me is the cross listing app Vendoo, Vendoo. It's very simple, very easy, and relatively cost effective. When it comes to the cost, basically I just sell one item on another platform per month, and it pays for my monthly subscription. So it's very, I mean, like I said, I've sold 4 items in the last 4 days, so I've already more than made up for. I basically paid for 4 months of Vendoo. But there's List Perfectly. I don't know what some of the other ones are out there, but find the one that works best for you. And then if you do list on Poshmark, as I've mentioned before, you need to use a closet magnifier tool, or whatever the proper term is. I use Posher VA. Poshmark is a very, it's a bit of a social network type of environment, and if you aren't keen on that, doing that kind of thing yourself, following other poshers, doing shows, things like that, then something like Posher VA will really help automate and do that stuff for you. What I like it the most for is sending out automatic offers. So if somebody likes one of my items, Posher VA will automatically send out an offer based off of a set percentage that I've predetermined ahead of time, and I get tons and tons and tons of sales just off of that feature alone. So if you do sell clothing, even if you sell a lot of decor, I would highly recommend cross-listing and if you go to Poshmark, using a closet whatever the term is, but it basically magnifies your Poshmark activity to the absolute nth degree. It does it all automatically for you, makes it super easy, and really can boost your sales tremendously. So I do have a link below if you're interested in trying out Vendoo and you want to save a little bit of money off of your first month. You can click the link below. Like I said, that's what I use. You can try out List Perfectly and whatever other options there are out there. I personally like Vendoo. It might not be the best for you, but if you're interested, there is that link below. Let's go into those Poshmark orders while we are bringing up the subject. I picked this jacket up for $5. It's a North Face women's jacket. Nice green color that's not coming through there, kind of like a spearmint green. And paid $5 for this. It's sold on Poshmark for $18 plus shipping. Not a home run, but a nice little sale on Poshmark. And I did follow that up with a much better sale, much more exciting sale. This is a pair of shoes. I think this might be becoming my new favorite brand to resell of shoe. I unfortunately haven't come across it in several weeks, but for a while there I was just coming across tons and tons of them, and my thrift stores don't overprice them by too much. This is a pair of Ultra Solstice. So Ultra is this brand, Altra. They are kind of a minimalist shoe, a wide toe shoe company. They have various styles. They're not all like that. This is the Solstice XT. It's a pair of men's size 10.5, and picked these up for $14.99, but I got them because they were in such good condition. So I paid up a little bit, but they sold for $50 plus shipping on Poshmark. I love to say that. So a nice sale on that one. But then a little bit better, and I was just happy because I've had this one listed for a while, and this one actually is even in my 25% off sale on eBay, but it wasn't on sale on Poshmark, so somebody paid full price for this. This is somebody told me how to pronounce this, and I forgot. So I'm going to butcher it probably again. But Carl Kini jeans. This is Kini. This is like a Y2K 90s brand. And this is a vest that I picked up for $12.99. And on Poshmark, it sold for $49 plus shipping. This was a big brand in like the hip hop community. And so it has kind of a following there. But yeah, these are vintage and retro, and this one was a little bit on the boring side in terms of the color, but still got a pretty good price for it, $49. And it sold in, less than 6 months, so it wasn't horrible in terms of the time. And then the last item that sold on Poshmark, this one sold in about 3 weeks, I think. I just talked about this somewhat recently. This is my first actual Athleta pickup. I got this for $4.50 at a thrift store that I don't go to very often, but I've started going to more so lately. And that sold for $20 plus shipping. So, not surprisingly, on Poshmark, I had 4 clothing items sell, and that's a lot of what sold for me today are clothing items. So, as I mentioned, Poshmark, if you resell clothing, definitely think about going to Poshmark if you haven't already. Well, I do have some good news when it comes to my YouTube channel. I am officially monetized, so I passed that goal, and it feels really cool. I don't know what exactly that will mean in terms of how much money I make, and maybe some of you might be interested in that. If you are interested, comment below. I'll definitely be open and transparent on how much I make from this YouTube channel. I have no problems with that if people are interested in it. But I couldn't have got there without just a swell of support from some of the longtime viewers and some newer viewers as well. So again, just want to thank you all so much for watching my old videos, watching my recent videos, liking them, commenting. It has helped me out tremendously. Thank you, thank you, thank you. While we're at it, thank you to the PDX Posse member, HarleyGal143, always the OG #1 fan. I appreciate that very much. Let's do a fact or crap for fun. Here's an interesting one, kind of, maybe. The game of cricket. Y'all familiar with cricket? Did it originate in Belgium, not England? So, the game of cricket originated in Belgium, not England. I'm going to call that crap. Fact. Wow, okay. Apparently, new research shows that Flemish weavers who emigrated to England introduced the game and its name to the English. Well, there you go. I was wrong on that one. Here's an interesting one, space related. There's been a lot of space things in the news lately. NASA stopped painting the fuel tank on the space shuttle because the white paint added about 600 pounds to its weight. I gotta say, that sounds very possibly true. I'm sure the paint weighs something, and those fuel tanks were huge, so I'm gonna say fact. Fact. That's it. So, well, that was fun. There we go. Last one of the day, also relevant because it's Russia-based. In Russia, smiling for no reason is frowned upon. Smiling for no reason is frowned upon in Russia. Is that fact or crap? I'm going to say crap. It's fact. There's a Russian proverb. Laughing for no reason is a sign of stupidity. So apparently you cannot have internal monologues where you think about something that good has happened in your life, because if they catch you smiling for no reason, they think you're stupid in Russia. So there you go. Silly, silly Russians. Heaven forbid we have a little bit of happiness in life. This next item, it's a non-clothing item. Also took a little bit longer to sell, so this showed up in my sale. Picked this up for $10 over the summer, and I guess it's one of the better sales when it comes to this estate sale that I went to. I bought a whole bunch of little tools and stuff, and most of them have not sold. But this is some sort of like torch accessory that goes on like a welding torch. Picked this up for $10. It sold for $37.46 or something like that. 43 cents, free shipping. Probably be, I don't know, $8 to ship it or something. So 10 into 28, not a great flip, but at least some okay, decent profit on that one. Another sale item. So my sale has proven to be quite successful. I think I have sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 10 things since I turned it on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, so it's like 5 days later. I've already sold about, let's just say 8 things or so, including this. This is a cross crunch. Let me do it this way because there's an old label on there. But this is like a vintage 90s, early 2000s fitness ab exerciser. Paid $2.50 for that. And that sold for $26.21 plus shipping. I bought 2 of those and sold the other one for full price, which is I think about $35. That one sold for a little bit less, but still really good profit, $26.21. This is the kind of stuff that I'm resorting to having to sell in the storage from the storage unit auction. It's just junk like this. So where is that? It said A3, but it's not. This is, you can only list. You never know what's in the storage unit, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. There it is, right in front of me. Here's a DeWalt charger. $14.99 free shipping. It did sell very quickly in about 4 or 5 days, but not a huge seller. Probably cost $7-8 to ship it, so not a lot of profit in that one. On the flip side, this was another really good chunk of profit. I contemplated keeping this for myself because I kind of need something like this, but this is the second one of these SolGuard travel toiletry bags, SolGaard, for those of you that didn't see my other video. Bought this for $3. This one is new with tags, so the tags are in the inside, and that sold for $49.95 plus shipping. So SolGuard is a luggage luggage company, but they also have little items like this. These are great pickups if you can find them. Even the used one I sold for I think $40, so a lot of value in these little travel bags. I'm not entirely certain why people are willing to pay so much, but this must be a very high quality brand. Last item of the day, and then we'll put a wrap on this video. Picked these up for $5 at a garage sale, it was kind of an estate sale of sorts, but these were some Nike golf shoes. This is actually the second pair of these that I've sold in the last 2 or 3 months. These had hardly been worn, paid $5 for them. These did end up in my 25% off sale as well, but those sold for $29.96 plus shipping. So I have these very interesting spikeless knobs on cleats or something on the bottom, but these are Nike Air Zoom Infinity Tours, and very distinctive bottom sole on there. So you can pick these up for, let's say, $8 or less. I'd say it's a pretty good pickup, especially coming into the golf season. It's a great time to look for golf-related items if you aren't out there already. That includes everything from, of course, golf clubs, golf shoes, but also I'm listing a lot of golf polos lately, polo shirts. So those are, you can, especially FootJoy. I do, there's a ton of FootJoys listed. I don't know, 17,000 or more probably, but when it comes into the winter, or the warmer months, I should say, those usually are good sellers, and you can get about $20 per polo shirt for those. All right, that's going to do it for today's video, because I need to get these packed and out the door so that I can catch my plane in a couple hours. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Good luck with all of your adventures out there, reselling or otherwise. We'll catch you on the next video, so take care. Bye-bye.